Vision IB, where physics becomes clarity.
My dear students, hope you are all doing well. So in this lecture we are basically going to cover the concept of work, energy and power. So this video will be specifically for the work purpose related concepts and explanation. Then in the next videos I'll upload the energy concept and the power concept. So let's start with the work concept. So in this topic we are first going to cover work done by the constant force, and you will understand the significance of what does work is equals to force times displacement cos theta means. You will understand the significance of cos theta, and after we have done that we will study about variable forces and area force under graph. So in this we will learn about the variable forces and the area force under graph, right? So let's begin this lecture with a positive note. So what is work, energy and power? So first we will cover the concept of work. So this is the basic layman definition of a work. Don't take it as a standard definition of a work. So work is something like actively involving in mental or physical effort done to achieve a purpose. Suppose you are studying for your exams and you are making notes and studying everything. So that you are putting some kind of effort, right? So that is called as mental effort. And suppose you are going to gym or the bicycling or running everything. So that comes under physical efforts, right? So these are the just basic examples. So this is actually whenever we actively involve in such purposes, that is called as work, right? Now we will look at one more definition. We will look at the definition of energy. Again, I'd like to inform you that this is not the standard definition. So energy is the strength required to do work, whether or not you have the strength to do the particular kind of work. So this is called as energy. Now we will look at the concept called as power. So power is ability to act or produce an effect. In order to produce certain kind of effect during work, that effect is called as power. So it is all non-standard definition. It was just for your understanding. So now you have understood the concept of work, energy, power in the simple terms. Let's start with some standard definition and the concepts uh, according to physics. So when we say work is done, so work is done when a force causes a displacement of an object in the direction of a force. Suppose I have this metal cube here. So if I'm applying the force in the right side, there is the displacement of this block. So suppose this x0 is the initial position and x1 is the final position. So in this you can say that there is a displacement of this metallic cube from one point to other point in the direction of a force. Remember this point. The direction should be in the direction of a force, right? And it is compulsory for a work done to have certain kind of displacement. If there is no displacement, we can simply say that the work done is zero. So even if you apply the force and the displacement is zero, I can clearly say that you are like obliged to say that the work done here is zero. Now have a look at the standard definition of energy. Again, energy is the capacity or the ability to do the work. Again, the unit of energy is joule. Energy exists in many forms like kinetic energy, potential energy, thermal, electrical. So you must be at the HL level or SL level, you must be well versed with what is kinetic energy, what is potential energy, what is thermal energy, and what is electrical energy, right? Now let's jump to the standard definition of power. So power is the rate at which work is done. So simply I can say that power is work done per unit time. So the power is the rate at which the work done or rate at which the energy is transferred, right? So a device with higher power can do the same work in less amount of time. Suppose I have two washing machine A and washing machine B. Suppose B has more power. B washing machine has more power. So it can wash more number of clothes in the same amount of time. Let's assume the time to be 10 minutes for A and 10 minutes for the washing machine B. Since washing machine B has more power, it can wash more clothes compared to A in that same amount of time. So, hope you are clear with the understanding of what is work, what is energy, and what is power. So, in this lecture, we are basically going to cover the work done concept. And so, let's move to the other slide and see. So, let's decode the concept of work. So, when the application of a force, when the application of a force causes the displacement of an object, we can say that the work is done. And work done is the scalar product of force and displacement, and theta is the angle between the force and the displacement, right? So it's the work done is a dot product. Second, you have to keep in mind it's a scalar product, and the product of force and displacement gives you the work done. So you can see here it is beautifully represented here. You can see that here work is scalar, but the force and the displacement is vector. So whenever in vectors, always remember, whenever in vectors, if two vectors have a product as a scalar, then it is called as dot product. So this is the dot product or the scalar product of work done, and which can be further written as F, that is force, and S, that is displacement, into cos theta, where cos theta or theta is the angle between force and displacement. So we will look and understand this work times force into displacement cos theta. You must be pretty confused. Oh, what is this, like why how come there is an angle between force and a displacement? So in the next slide, when I will explain you the concept of work done with the various examples, you will understand it better. So let's move on to other slide and see what do we have. So before understanding or before studying the work, energy, and power, we need to understand some properties of the vectors. That is very important to understand the properties of the vector. So there are two most important properties of a vector, that is commutative law, and second one is distributive law. So a bar dot b bar can be written as b bar dot a bar, so it can be reversed. So this is called as commutative law. Second law is called as distributive law. So distributive law can be written as, you can see here, a dot b plus c can be written as a times b plus a times c. So this is the distributive law of scalar product. And why we are learning scalar product? We are learning scalar product because it is very important for you to understand the scalar product when you need to study work, energy, and power concept. And this equation, I think I have already explained you in terms of work. That is, work is equals to force times displacement, which can be further written as which can be further written as force into displacement cos theta. So hope you understand the commutative law and the distributive law of the scalar product, right? Now let's see some cases. So in this you will understand why the angle between the force and the displacement matters, right? So here we know that work is equals to force into displacement. So now you can see here, see the beauty of this physics. You can see here the girl is pulling this wooden block, and you can see the force applied in the upward direction, and you can see the direction of displacement. So this blue line represents the direction of displacement, and this red line represents the direction of force. And the angle, and you can see there is an angle between force and displacement. That angle is called as theta, or it can be represented as cos theta. So hope you understand this work is equals to force into displacement cos theta concept. Now we will cover some more examples based on this, so you will understand it much more better. Now after learning the work is equals to FD cos theta and understanding the like significance of theta and what is theta, let's look at some example. So can you look at this example? In this you can see that this cube is displaced from the position x0 to x1, and see, you can see the direction of a force that is on right side, so the displacement is also on right side. So I can write this as the equation of work done in this case. I can write this as work is equals to force times displacement. Now you will ask me, Rishi, you told me like work is like force times displacement cos theta. How come you just defined work is equals to force into displacement? Where is cos theta? So in this, you can cleverly see that the direction of a force and the direction of a displacement are parallel to each other. They are in same line. So as you can see, this is the force is applied on the right side and the displacement is also on the right side. So you can see that force and displacement are parallel to each other. So what do we conclude from this? We can clearly see that since force and displacement are parallel to each other, the angle, that is theta, is 0 degree. And let's plug this 0 degree, like let's use the equation of work is equals to force times displacement cos theta. Now I know that theta is equals to 0 degree, so you know cos 0 is 1. Cos 0 is 1. So I can write it as work is equals to force times displacement, and that is how we get this equation as work is equals to force into displacement. So cos theta is always there, but it depends whether the force and the displacement are parallel to each other or are anti-parallel to each other or whatever it is. So the angle matters very much. Now right here you can see we will look at some examples of where the work done is 0. So you can see this guy, he's very strong and muscular, but he's pushing this wall. So this guy is pushing this wall, but this wall is not moving. And I told you earlier, if the displacement is 0, we can say that work done is also 0. So in this case, you can clearly see that the work done is 0, right? Now here, yeah, you can see a guy carrying a desktop computer, or you can call it as a CPU. So this guy is carrying a box. So as this guy is moving forward carrying the box on his hand, so now you will say, oh Rishi, there is the motion here. So how can you say that the work done is 0? So the work done on this box is 0. I will say that the work done on this box is 0. Now why I will say the work done on this box is 0? Just look at it. See, this a man carrying this box is moving in a forward direction. So displacement is in forward direction, while there is certain kind of force, gravitational force is acting on this box. So force is, that is gravitational force. So you can see that the displacement and the force are perpendicular to each other. So the angle between the force and displacement is 90 degree. Now here's the twist. We know that work is equals to force into displacement cos theta, right? Okay, I have repeated it quite number of times, so don't get irritated. So like work is equals to force times displacement cos theta. Now force times displacement, so here the theta is 90 degree. Now just pull out your calculator and just check. Cos 90 degree is 0. Since cos 90 degree is 0, this whole equation becomes 0. So I can say that work done has become 0. So in this particular case, the work done is 0. Now let's have a look at one more example. So this is from circular motion. So you will understand that when I will provide the lectures of circular motion. So for now, you can see a ball is tied to this string, and this ball is let me change the color. Yeah, and this ball is moving in a circular path, right? So now if you remember your concepts of geometry, you might be knowing, see, this is the displacement of a ball, and a centripetal force is acting on the ball. So if you don't know about the centripetal force, don't worry, we will cover it in the circular motion. So you can see the angle between the force and the displacement is 90-degree. Again, as I said, at 90-degree, work done is zero. Since cos 90 is zero, so the whole equation, that is work is equal to force times displacement, cos 90 becomes zero. So work done is zero despite of displacement. So in these two cases, case A and case B, despite of the displacement, the work done here is zero. Now we have reached to the point where we can discuss the concept of positive work and negative work. So work is divided into two categories. Yes, you have heard it right. Work can be divided into two categories, that is positive work and negative work. So now look at the concept of positive work, right? So if the direction of force and the displacement is same, if the force and the displacement is same, we can say that it's a positive work. Like in the previous example, if you see in the previous example, I pushed this cube and this cube displaced from point x0 to x1. So the direction of force is also the same and the direction of displacement is also the same. Now we can look at the most famous example. If you throw a ball up in the air, the ball will fall down uh, because of force of the gravity. So you can see that the motion of the ball is also downward, and the direction of a force that is acting due to gravity is also downward. So this is the example of a positive work. Now here comes the twist part. Now you will ask me, what is negative work? If the direction of a force and displacement are opposite to each other, we can say that the work done is negative. Now here you can say, see the example of tug of war, sorry. So here we have team A, here we have team B. So team A is pulling on the right hand side, and if the team A pulls this rope on the right hand side, he will feel the displacement on the left side, right? So if we consider team A in mind, this team A is experiencing a negative work, right? So this team is experiencing a negative work. Another most famous example of negative work is, uh, like suppose is walking. Like when you're walking on the road, you apply the force in a backward direction, and the frictional force puts you in the forward direction. And as we know that because of friction only we are able to walk. So see, you can see the direction of a force is backward and the displacement is forward. So you can see that the direction of force and displacement in both of these cases, the direction of force and the displacement in both of the cases are opposite. So this was just an example of positive and negative work. So now let's see some more interesting work, some more interesting things. So we will study about the graph, the force displacement graph. We will study about force displacement graph. So here on y-axis you can see we have force, on x-axis we have displacement. So the area under the curve of force times force and displacement will always give you work done. So we will be requiring this concept a lot while solving numericals. So just keep in mind, this y-axis is force and x-axis is displacement, and the area under this curve will give you the work done. So let's quickly just find out the work done. So now you can see, I'll just complete this graph. So here you can see this, and I'll just mark the area under this graph. So this we have is the area under the graph. So the area under the graph is work done. So this work done is area under this graph. So now, does this area look like a triangle? Yes, of course, yes, it looks like a triangle. So now let's just find the area under this graph. So we know that area under the curve, area under the curve will give me work done. So area is the area of a triangle. Since you can see that it's a triangle, so it's the area under the area of a triangle. So area of a triangle, as you must be all aware, is half times base times height. So this base is x and the height is y. So we can just put the values, that is x times uh, f. So y we have force, and on x we have displacements. For displacement I have kept it x only, right? So let's plug in the values. So from this graph we can see that the value of x should be around, no, we don't need to plug the values, it is just for the proof, it is just for the proof, so don't get confused, we are not plugging in any kind of value because we are not solving numericals. So we know that area is equals to half into base into height. So base is the displacement and height is the force, and this is the magic. Now we know that work is equals to force fx cos theta. So we can see there is a similarity. We can see that there is a similarity. Work is equals to fx cos theta, where theta is the angle between the force and the displacement. So you can see similarities here. Now you must be confused why this half. So this half is coordinated with this cos theta. So the value of this cos theta is 1 by 2. And again we have displacement times force. We have displacement times force. So this is from this graph it is proved that the area under the curve of force and displacement gives you work done. So hope you understood this force displacement graph very well. Now let's solve one numerical to strengthen your concept more further. So let's dive deep into one numerical. So what work must be done to stop a lorry or a truck of mass 4000 kg moving at the velocity of 54 km per hour in 2 seconds? So we have to find out the work done that must be done in order to stop the lorry. So just keep in mind the vehicle is already in motion. The vehicle of mass 4000 kg is already in motion, right? So you have to determine how much amount of work needed to stop the lorry which is traveling at 54 kilometer per hour in just 2 seconds. So let's write the given values and let's solve this numericals. So we can clearly see here that uh, we can clearly see that work is equals to force times displacement. We already know this. So in order to solve this numerical, we must be needing force and we must be needing the displacement. So that is the game to find the force and the displacement. So first let's start with the mass. So the mass is 4000 kg. Yeah. The initial velocity, that is u, is 54 kilometer per hour. We will convert it into meter per second. So that is 54 into 1000, 54 times 1000 by 60 times 60, which gives you 15 meter per second. So now we have converted the initial velocity into meter per seconds. Now we have been given time is equals to 2 seconds, right? And we have to find the final, and the final velocity is 0 since the vehicle is already in motion and you have to stop that vehicle. So at last the vehicle will be at rest, so the final velocity will be 0. So now we have to find the in order to find the force we need to find the acceleration, because force is equals to mass times acceleration, right? So we will make a use of a kinematical equation that says force is equals to mass times acceleration, right? So because we need to find the force, so for that we need acceleration because mass is already given. So we will use this kinematic equation that says v is equals to u plus at. So we will rearrange this equation, so we get acceleration as v minus u, final velocity minus initial velocity, by time. So if we substitute the value, we get 0 minus 15 by 2, which gives you minus 7.5 meter per second square. So now I have the acceleration, I can calculate the force very easy, right? So force is equals to mass times acceleration, right? So the mass is like 4000 kg times 7.5, right? So we get the force as 3 we get the force as 30,000 Newton, or 3 into 10 to the power 4, right? So now we got the force. Now we need to find the displacement, so we will make the use of one more kinematical equation that says v square is equals to u square plus 2as. So just manipulate this equation and you will get s as v square minus u square by 2a. Just plug in the values and you get 0 minus 15 square of minus 2 into 7.5. Now you will ask me, so why have you taken the like not 7 point minus, not 7 minus 7.5, why you have taken 7.5? So I have taken minus only, so it is I have already multiplied it with 2. So now we have it as 15 meter. So I have the displacement as 15 meter, I have the velocity as 7.5 meter per second, sorry, acceleration as minus 7.5 meter per second square, and I have the force as 30,000 Newton, right? So now let's just plug in these values and get our answer. So now we know that work is equals to force times displacement. So 30,000 into 15, 13,000 times 15 will give you 45 uh, 450,000 joules, which can be, again we can write it as 450 kilojoules. So in order to stop that lorry, the work done must be of 450 kilojoules. So hope this lecture was interesting and you guys understood it. And do comment to my like to this video if you understand and found something useful. Please let me know, I'll be very happy. Thank you.
If this helped you understand physics better, like the video